Says we're good on my end. Give me one. Ah, there it goes. Yes. Okay, cool. All right, that's out. Okay, cool. Sorry, everybody. You know, I just want to always be sure everything's going well. So you can see by my let me actually switch this over. We're gonna be. I did a lot of work on this panel kind of overnight. I added a couple more things, and while I talk about that, I'm gonna get some links out here really fast. Once again, I like to share everything out. I wasn't sure, like to be like 100% honest, if I wanted to stream today. There was like some family stuff that happened, and I didn't think it would bother me, but it kind of sort of is. But here we are. You know, we are here. We're gonna do the thing. I'm gonna commit to the thing. So let me get. Now that we've got that going. Oh, I forgot to bring up the chat. Duh. Alright, cool. So my goal today, now that I have generally the toning done, you know, the lettering inside each of these bubbles is already done. I'm gonna go in and kind of add in some of the sound effects, and then I gotta draw this last panel. So that'll be what I work on today. I might add in some white lines in here just to like make some of these shapes clear that seem a little unclear. Oh, and I gotta add in the black on his hands. So we'll probably start there first. That way I can just get that done really quick. Make life easier. So let's go ahead and get that in. Hopefully everyone had a good Saturday. So, and I also realized later after I went to bed and woke up that the shell here, the liner kind of got messed up. So I gotta find out what layer that's on and take care of that, which should be easy. It should be a simple select object solution. So now I'm going to go in and draw in some white lines on top of it just to make the shapes more clear. Especially since we have such bright light right here, that'll definitely help, I think. Where is it, Miso? Where is it? What do we see? Yeah. That would be this layer, probably. Hey, JMB, what's up? How you doing? Doing well, hopefully. Hopefully, had a good weekend. Oh yeah, how's that going? Did you get any progress made, or was it a rest day? Rough draft. There you go. Hey, that's what as long as you're making progress. Honestly, that's the important part. Just making progress. That was the hard part. Definitely for me, that was the hard part. Just because for a while I was like, I feel like working on it, and then I'd sit down to work on it, be like, no, I don't want to work on it. It's like I want to work on it, but I don't. But honestly, like just getting in the habit of like sitting down to work on something can be really, really beneficial. So good. That's awesome. Do you post it anywhere yet? I'm trying to remember. I'm sorry. I'm such a goldfish. I'm looking if I remember what I ate for breakfast half the time. Yeah, okay. Trying to these down because some of these I've worked on. Some of these pages I've worked on for a while, and I'm ready to be done with them. Move on with my life. I think I've worked on these pages, these 2 pages, for like 3 weeks. Really didn't have like the motivation to work on them. Now that I'm like regularly streaming, like I definitely feel more motivated to work on them. I don't feel like this is too light, because it is. There we go. It's like, why do those eyes look so light? Yeah, there's just times where you're just like, I don't feel like working on stuff. I definitely have those moods myself. Yeah, so I'm definitely not immune to them. I feel like his eyes aren't focused. Got a really nice breeze coming in tonight. I love it. Why is that white line there? What is that? Another layer on top. I have so many layers that I've just put on top. It's like ridiculous, honestly. Aros is so done with her nonsense. He's more or less yelling at her, like, can we do this later? Like, she's yelling at him because he called her old. And he's like, this is not the right moment for this. Can we do this later? Oh, come on, flip. Characters are like looking like extremely to one side or the other. I kind of struggle with that a little bit. There we go. Feel better. There we go. We get to work on lettering. Woo! Alright, so I need to make sure this is the right one, and I know what page I can go to double check. My original first page. Oh, it used heal. I mean, I could do that. I could totally do that. Yeah, I guess who sounds too soft. I think that's fine. I just want to be sure I made it right. Yeah. So I reference like older pages all the time. Oh boy, sound effects. Just kidding, that's not one of my favorite parts. Not my fave. I don't like doing sound effects. They always look so weird to me. They always look weird to me. Doesn't matter like how many times I do them, they still look super weird to me. Do white with a black outline. Let's see how that looks. So usually what I'll do is I'll have the initial draft, and I'll kind of come in and play with like what style I want to use. If I want to do something like that, or if I want to use just like straight up sound effects, like or like actual fonts. Sometimes I'll like try different brushes and see which one looks the best. So I am like a person who doesn't use, or doesn't really enjoy this part. I feel like something softer would be better with this one. So, where is that special pen that I got that's like just for this kind of thing? No. a special pen that's like just for this, and it worked really well last time, and like I really loved it. I don't remember what the pen was now. Maybe that happens. And also anytime like you add strokes to something, like it's never gonna look right either, I guess, now that I think about it. Yeah, this is gonna be one of those ones I have to get a little creative with. Okay, so let's turn that off now. This is probably, like I said, this is probably what I struggle with the most. Make it smaller. Of course it's gonna save when I'm in the middle of writing kana. I think just the two is fine. And then I'll make them smaller. Save really quick, and I'm gonna basically take these, I'm gonna make them thinner. That's why I put them in vectors. Now, let's see. So I'm still learning. I think it's. Well, sorry, Miso. You're standing here. Oh, this is the selection. I need to outline my selection. see. Selection. Inverse. Shrink it. That didn't do anything. Let's try 10. Let me fucking Google it. This is the one downside of putting your software into a language you don't understand, is you have to remember where everything is. Yeah, it's in the edit menu. That's what I did. That's what I thought I clicked on, but I guess not. It is, that's what I clicked on. I swear to God, that's what I clicked on. I had the right one. Why is it not doing anything? Okay, why is my selection not working? Okay, yeah. Edit. Outline selection. That's it. And it's not doing anything. Oh, what's on that one? Oh my fucking God. Hey, that's not it either. there's no mask on this one, okay. Yep, that's it. What's this? It's making me angry. That's the one I clicked on it and it didn't do anything. Fuck it. Whatever. This is stupid. I've literally tried everything and it's not working, so whatever, I guess I'm not doing that anymore. This is frustrating. That's not it, that's not it, that's not it. Like, supposedly none of these are it, and I don't understand why it's not doing anything. Oh my god, did I find it? Okay, I'm gonna do it again just so I can know where it's at. It's this one. It's G, okay. My gosh, that was way too hard. It was way too hard, you guys. I could have sworn I'd already clicked on that one, but I guess not. There. Wow, that was way too hard, you guys. That was way too hard. Just shows I need to study more. But, and usually they'll, if it's like an outline, or if it's like, if it's a selection, usually they'll have like a letter next to it to tell you. And that's why I was trying all of those ones and that wasn't working. Alright, so now I have the outlines that I want. Go in and hand draw them now. So I like them hand drawn. Ish. Both like straight lines. It just helps like even everything out, I think. think that's too much. And instead, with a white line, and lighten up some of these. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm putting in this white, and then what I'll do later is I'll select the white that I have, and I'll use it to put a mask on the black, because I don't know if you guys can see, but like right here, you can see where this white line goes on top of that bamboo. We obviously aren't going to want that, and so right now I'm just putting in the white where I'm going to want it, and then later when I'm able to, I can actually just go in and select all that white space. And I'll be able to just apply a mask instead. That way it'll simply take out the parts that we don't want, rather than leave it all in there like that. You know, it's like not the most important or exciting part of making comics, but I think it's really important to, you know, make sure you do good lettering, and be really thoughtful about it. I see a lot of people that I feel like they really don't put in a lot of time into lettering, and even if like it's not the best, you know, I feel like it matters a lot if you at least try. And eventually you'll get better at it. And if something's like really poorly lettered, it can really take the reader out of the reading experience. And so making sure like the lettering is I don't want to say like fun's not the word I'm looking for. I feel like the word I'm actually looking for is consistent with the art. And that it doesn't like compete with the artwork, rather it enhances it. I feel like it's really important. And that's why I'm trying to make sure the line art here is thin enough, so that it doesn't compete or anything, but it still has like the same feeling as the rest of the artwork does. yeah, I feel like in general it's the part that's really overlooked. I know I did it a lot. I overlooked it a lot before I like actually had to letter consistently. When I was being paid to. Something that I learned a lot more about by actually having to like sit down and learn lettering. I wish more people took it seriously. Other than like leaving it out or just like throwing it in last minute. Not paying attention to like what they're doing with it. So I think something else they don't think about is they want to get either picked up by a publisher or they want this to happen or that to happen to them. And if your lettering doesn't look like you care about it, then like why would a publisher want to pick you up if you're gonna like do really cool in certain areas and then like completely ignore to like the detriment of other areas, you know what I mean? And now that I know that that's like a really commonly overlooked like area of comics, it's actually something that I pay a lot more attention to when I'm reading them because I know they're overlooked. And that's a really good way to pick out someone who's more serious about comics is by looking at their lettering. Be like, okay, like this person took the time to like put in really good lettering, and lettering isn't just sound effects. It's like how are the bubbles done? What does the text inside the bubbles look like? What do the sound effects look like? You know, it's like this really small, like nuancing things that I think a lot of people neglect. Because they feel, lettering is just, throwing in bubbles and stuff, and it doesn't, like, I can do whatever I want, and theoretically you totally could, but I feel like there's always a difference when someone obviously doesn't care about it, and then someone does. It's like a big difference, I think, in the quality of the comic. Maybe it's just me, but at least I feel like there is. But yeah, like, I don't know, maybe I'm just rambling, but like lettering is a dead giveaway. Like, the quality of a comic. And that's not necessarily true, because there are some people that have, like, absolutely beautiful comics. And, like, the story is great, the character design is great, the artwork's great, and then the lettering is just like, whoa! And that might be, like, the only thing they need to fix. But I feel like it's more indicative of, like, a general quality. My drink just exploded all over me. Fantastic. I'm going to go change my shirt. I wish that didn't happen as often as it does. Thank you, drink, for bubbling all over the place, even though there was literally no reason for that. Good thing I'm doing laundry anyway. It happens. Okay, I'll have to be sure I clean the table really well later. Rotate the blanket around. I hate when that happens. The drink's been sitting on the table for hours and you pick it up and it just explodes in your face. Whoops. I was more worried about it getting on like the tablet or something. And so I just held it all over the floor. Thankfully I have tile floors. So I just held it over the floor. And it's just like overflowing onto the floor. Oops. Okay, doesn't look like it got on my phone. Oh my god, phone, open, Jesus. I hate having biometrics on it sometimes. Alright, pen's dry. Back to work. Alright, let's see how it looks. Alright, so I might have to add in some extra whites underneath it just to help separate it out. I might have to white it out. I didn't want to white it out, but I might have to. I was gonna delete, but I was dumb and ended up drawing some black lines on it, so now I can't erase it the way that I had planned. That's okay. I can make it work around. See here. Whoops. I'm gonna tap the eraser on. Okay. There. Does that need to be that large? No, it doesn't. I don't think it needs to be there either. The big thing is, how is it gonna really? Big thing is, how is it gonna sit between the trees? That's what we need to check. What size is that? Oh, it should be 12. I wonder why. It was size too big. Are all of these? That's 12. That's 12. This one's supposed to be bigger, so that's okay. That little one looks good for the most part. Now we get to do this one. Woo! Alright, this one is guts. Gut. Like, gut. Just like, oh, I forgot to add in the English ones on this one. Oops. Throw that in really quick. That's where I need my handy dandy, this one, I think. This would be like a, why is it not showing? There it goes. That's because I had the level too low. I had the layer too low. So this is the wrong one. I think I meant this one. Yeah. I guess who would still work. It's not technically correct, but I guess whoosh would also work. Oh no, I did that on the wrong layer. Oh man. Okay, it's okay. Copy paste it. Oh, it sucks. You guys seen that meme? You must stop. You must stop. Why? You are drawing on the wrong layer. Have you guys seen that one? I absolutely adore that meme so much. It's like an everyday occurrence for me. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun. I want like happier music. I'm not down for the dark fantasy today. Well, let's see what playlists Adrian has, because I've bought his entire music library, so let me go see what he's got for us. That sounds fun, you guys. Let's see. Let's not do something dark. It's got some pretty fun ones. Trying to find like a longer playlist. Not in the mood for Celtic stuff today, though. Here, we've got some world music. Whatever his world music playlist is what we're listening to today. Alrighty. Cool. Alright, so we're basically gonna do a similar process over here. Which is why I left this. And then we'll figure out what sort of like look we went for. I want something really like rough and gritty on this one, so. So for this one, what I'll probably do is I'll start with something rougher. Let's see, down. Ooh, that's probably not gonna work. Let's do something thinner, and with these, we'll kind of go up and down. And then I'll taper the ends later to be what I want them to. Because with these, like, really rough brushes, one of the things that works really well with these is if you then later turn them into an eraser, you put the clear setting on and then go back over them. You can get some like really cool edges with them. And then you get like this sort of like really weird like extended edge here, which all about just figuring out like what kind of look you want, I guess. And that's kind of how I look at lettering. I never know exactly what I want until I just kind of sit here and experiment with it some. I didn't make a new layer, so I'm gonna erase all of this and we'll start over. Dun 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 dun. I'm gonna try a different brush. Sometimes, you know, trying different brushes, trying different things, just seeing what works. Ooh, that's gross. Sometimes stuff works and sometimes it doesn't. Like, hey, this one looks nice, and then you actually try it and you're like, oh, no. Oh, it's got a kind of a neat texture to it. Something else you can do is also, just gonna keep this short. Oh, ooh. Oh yeah, I remember this brush now. So with this one, what I'll do is I'll like get that roughness in there, and then I'll go slower. So if you go slower, it doesn't break apart like in that texture. If you go faster, it does. So if you go slower, you can kind of put in with like lines and stuff. I'm trying to remember what I had this one for. Now I remember. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Okay, so I'll make the pen bigger with the look I want. That's okay. I'm gonna zoom out so it's a little bit easier so I don't have to push as hard. I'm trying to figure out if I like the way that looks. I don't think it does. Nah, I'm gonna try the brush. I just like the ends of this one. Because I definitely want something grittier. I want something not as smooth. Sometimes it's just kind of hard figuring out like exactly what brush you want. And sometimes you can like apply textures to them on top of stuff. Just kind of finding the one you want. Looks like a Q-tip. Okay, we're gonna try this one again. I'm gonna go in and make it kind of look roughly the way that I want. I'm gonna play around a little bit with it. Kind of rough it up like we did the other one. Another option would be to start with a font, get it put in the places that you want, and then draw / erase / use a mask on top of it. It's another option that we have. Just kind of depends on what method you want to use, what your preferences are. And there's no like right or wrong way to do anything, it's just like what look do you want, you know? And then trying to figure out like how you get that. Thank you, whoever liked my video, I appreciate it. graphics are such a weird thing if you think about it. It's like literally writing in, here's the sound you're supposed to hear in your brain. Like, it's kind of interesting, isn't it? And now we gotta do it again. I like this one might be a little bit easier because it's smaller and we can get away with this a bit better. Alright, let's see. Okay. And so, we'll see if we need any sort of... Yeah, we're gonna definitely need some form of outline to these, which is fine. So, we have two choices. We can either just apply a white outline and it'll like outline it perfectly. So, let's see how that looks. I feel like the issue is that this is not placed very well, and I'm going to show you guys why. The reason why I think this isn't placed very well is if you look at the angle that it's at. Oops. Look at the angle that it's at. Oops, too much. It kind of falls in line with everything, and so it makes it really hard for it to stand out because it all kind of goes in the same direction, which in some cases works, in this case not necessarily. It doesn't work very well. This one is a little bit better, but now it's too thick, and this like action here that I have kind of overshadows that. So it's not really something we want, obviously. So I'm gonna turn my red layer off for now. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to take each character and then put it on its own layer. Just copy, oopsie. It's just X, Control V. Actually, what I should do is a C, not a V. Are you gonna paste? Control C, please. There it goes. Okay. The reason why I want to do Control C is I still want to have the original layer, because when you, let me show you, when I turn this off, it'll copy over all of the settings, and it'll have just this one on it, versus if I do a Control X and then Control V, it doesn't copy, like, the layer settings, it just, like, merges, so basically, like, this outline, the outline that I have here would just be, like, rastered, it wouldn't be, like, a layer effect or anything, so then that would be really annoying. I'd have to figure out how to get rid of the white. So I'm going to do that to all the other parts. If it wants to. For whatever reason, it's really slow with like the copy. Probably because it's the folder file's getting so big. Alright, I'm going to do the same down here. Do is copy, paste, and copy, oopsie, copy, and paste. Okay, cool. So now everything is on its own layer. I can move everything around. I can rotate it too if I want. I'm really disappointed because I really liked it. I liked the shape of it. So that really sucks. So what I'm going to do is instead I'm going to tilt this a little bit. See if maybe I can change the placement, I can change the size, anything just to like help it stand out better. Something else I might be able to do is to flip it so that it's white on the outside, or white on the inside and black on the outside. I can also see if that helps. And then if it doesn't help, I'm gonna have to like completely change how I drew it, which is an option. I could totally do something like this, so that it changes the angle a little bit. Draw this out a little, so that it is more perpendicular than it is going with it, and you can see it stands out a lot better. That's why I wanted everything on its own layer. so that I could transform each one individually. And so basically just want to be sure that it's still legible. It's always a little tricky, personally. Oops, I stopped music. Right, we are sitting at, we just hit the hour mark, so hopefully you guys are finding this entertaining, at least like a bare minimum. Watching me struggle. How do I do lettering? How do I do this? This is sort of like the last part of the page, and it's always, for me, it's always kind of the harder part of the page. Because honestly, like, it's not as fun. It's not. I'm just gonna be honest, like, coming, from someone who has lettered, like, for a company, it's not as fun, just to be, like, totally honest. But, I mean, you gotta do it. I don't mind it that much, because I always get to learn something new, especially since I'm still currently studying Japanese, so it's, like, really nice to get to learn something. Get to learn a new sound, or get to learn a new emotion, new feeling, new, like, grammatical context. That's why I like doing it, is it teaches me a little bit every day. Sometimes people ask me, why are you putting Japanese sound effects if your manga is in English? Well, I want to be able to learn, and I want to grow, so that's one reason, and the other reason is I like it. Do you need another reason? I like it. That's like asking people, why do you put ranch dressing on your salads and not like Thousand Islands? Because I like it. If you don't like it, don't eat it. If you don't like it, don't read it. That's just me. And it's not like I don't put in the English ones with it, so I do that, so I don't want people feeling, like, uncomfortable or uneasy or whatever, so I always add in the English ones. I'm gonna put this further down here. Move this one down here. People gonna do what people gonna do, so. Right, and I think I had it set to 20. And I had this one set to 20. Whoopsie. Set this to 20. Okay. Alright. Oh, I forgot to change that one. I thought so. I was like, my line art looks a little too thick. Yeah, there we go. Oh, cool. I'm not happy with this one just yet. See, I took it over here, but I'm not sure if I like it covering up the bamboo a little bit, because I feel like it might be just, I feel like it might make people, like, read like this, which is not what I want. I want this. So hopefully it'll, maybe I can make these a little smaller. I don't really want them smaller though. Oh, that works, I guess. That's a bit better. That's better than it was before, and it still fits inside the space I want it to. Let's see. It's like literally the worst. I've seen it. I feel like the easier solution is to just cut it so that it doesn't go up that high. Also, but this it might be easier just to draw in an extra white margin. And this one's fine. There isn't any in these, just those two. Alright, let's get this one drawn. This, oh, that's why I did that. I was like, why did I hide that? That's why. Okay, well, I'll just hide this thing. So I don't want it getting in the way of me trying to click on things. Alright, so with this one, I want it to be a little grittier, so I'm not going to use my like hyper fine brush I like to use. I do want this one to be a little darker. What is it, Miso? Miso, you want to say hi to everybody? Yeah. Silly girl. She's like, why did you touch me like that? I didn't touch you. I just went to pet your cute little face. Where's the Miso? What? Where's he? Miso's my cat. If you're not familiar with my cat, my name is Miso. She is adorable. Of course, like what cat isn't, right? Or what pet owner doesn't think their cat's adorable? What, Miso? Yeah? Yeah. No, you can't come over here. I'm sorry, honey. No. Miso likes to, when I'm drawing, usually what I'll do Miso likes to sit between myself and the tablet. When I'm drawing, I have a Cintiq. So what she'll do is she'll walk up and she'll actually try to physically put herself between myself and the tablet. And then what we've worked out as a middle ground is, I'll push my keyboard back far enough and I'll pull the keyboard. I have like a keyboard shelf in my desk, built into the desk. And then she'll sit on the keyboard desk instead, but then I don't get to use my keyboard. And she's trying to like sneak her way down to the keyboard. Not today, honey. I need my buttons right now. Maybe when I'm done streaming you can. She's a silly cat. Stomach's not feeling super good today. I'm not entirely sure why. I feel like I've been pretty good with what I've been eating lately. This part's not going to matter that much, so I'm not going to bother with it too much. Well, let me look at how I drew her eye over here. She had the bottom and then just the two. Okay. But closer up, I would imagine that there's more going on. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. Probably push that down a little bit. What is it, Miso? Hmm? Not even. Oh yeah, I was gonna add in that there's a little symboler thingy, visual grammar thingy. I was gonna add. It's like when someone notices something. I don't remember what, it's like a little flash icon. And like I downloaded a whole bunch of them and I forget where I put them now. That way I wouldn't have to like keep drawing them because I thought it was annoying having to like... Oh, that's right, it's a brush. I forgot, it's a brush now. So we'll see how they look. I don't know if I put it in Flash or... I might put it in Effect. Yeah, my only complaint is that because I have to draw a little bit to get to the one that I want. Yeah, so that's the one I want. So what I'll do is I'll usually transform it the way that I... Oh, come on, really? I'll transform it the way that I want it to be. And then... Actually, I don't know if I like this one now. Oh, there we go. Actually, I don't like the shape of that one now. I like the first one better. Oh. There we go. That's the shape I want. I'm just gonna play with it real quick, figure out the shape you want. I also thought about adding in, instead of this typical like ROs yelling at her, like probably I wonder. I'll just have her notice. He's distracted. So kind of the hard part for me is trying to figure out, because I don't have a lot of space here, and so figuring out like which option is going to work the best. Maybe not. I could just keep it simpler. Sometimes less is more, right? Especially with bubbles. Less is more. Could also just leave that there. But I guess you wouldn't know what she's noticing, right? So. Here I'm gonna have to add a tail so that you know it's not her. So that you know it's not her speaking. This is kind of the harder part. Hopefully it'll be obvious that it's her, because Naustic has white hair. Aros doesn't. Oh, they could mistake this for Aros, now that I think about it. Well, I would hope not, because her eye is a different shape than his. This is the dilemma, guys. This is the dilemma. Hey, Kaiju, what's up? How you doing? How are you? What's up? Got something on my screen. Let's put in a really basic tone here. Don't want anything too strong. What is it, miso? And then I'll go in with my texture. Yep, on the grind, man. Just working, getting stuff done. Hopefully. Hopefully being the big question. Alright, eye here will have a different texture. Oh, clip. Okay. I'm gonna go in and take some of this texture out. Or some of this tone out. This one's my favorite. Taking a break from making pages? I'm trying to decide if I want to have this in here or not. So a fun texture I wanted to use here. See how it looks. Doesn't look the way I thought it would. Ooh, that's closer to what I was thinking. Actually, I wonder if like the whole thing looked like that. How would it look? You can always go in and then this, and then actually go in and throw an actual black to help define these shapes better. The other option, now that I think about it, would be kind of neat. Excuse me, sorry. Sorry. Break, yeah, I had a lot of stuff to do, was busy outside of comics. I feel that, yeah. Well, I hope it gets better for you. It's always really tough when you're really, really busy with things. got pretty busy outside of like God's Paint stuff for a while, so I ended up having to stop working on that for a bit. It can get really demotivating, like when you're just so busy. And then there's also like the, oh man, like how do I like get back into it, you know what I mean? Oh, hang on, let me bring in your message here really quick. Hoping we get character designs, yeah. It will be. Once I have enough stuff, I'm gonna wait until I have all 3 episodes that I want to post done. So that'll be chapters 1, 2, and 3. So once all 3 of them are done, then I'll publish them on Manga Plus. And we'll see how we do. I'll have 3 separate chances, so because you only get, even if you post like all 3 episodes in 1 month, only one of them could quote win for that month. The benefit though to posting them all in 1 month is you could get like that people read 1 week and then they read the next week and then they read the next week and then like one of those weeks could take off, so there's like that plus side of it. My thing is you only get 3 releases. I didn't understand that until someone like actually explained it to me better. So because once you post 3 releases, your 4th release isn't eligible like at all anymore. Like, it doesn't matter if you post, like, 1 release 1 month, 1 release the next month, and the 3rd one on the 3rd month. After that, like, you can't, you can still post, but you won't be eligible anymore. Yeah, so you only get a maximum of 3 chances, which is really discouraging. I'm not sure if it's the same on Jump Rookie, which really sucks. That if it's not the same, like, they're like, oh, you guys only get 3 chances. I feel like that's kind of silly. I mean, that money is still a good amount of money for me. I mean, it's not that much now, but it is what it is, I suppose. I mean, just think about it though. Like, imagine if your work got recognized enough to be published on Manga Plus. Like, imagine what that would do for you personally. Like, imagine that exposure you would get. Right. Yeah, exactly. It's money we don't have. And in this particular case, I think the exposure is worth it. Because you get to be put on Manga Plus. How many people get to say that they are on Manga Plus? And if you do well enough, like if the series does well, there's always that possibility that it could turn into something more. Or like the next series you want to make, hey guys, I'd like to pitch this to you, or do I need to redo it again? Like once you hit that door, I feel like that's what a lot of people are missing out. Is like this is like literally the people who run like Manga Plus and like the editorial department look at this stuff, and so like can you imagine just having the opportunity to be able to get to work with those people, and what that would do for you personally? I feel like that's still pretty amazing and worth it. Plus for me, I have a full-time job anyway, and I don't need extra. Technically, if we're being technical, I don't need extra money to be able to survive. It would be really nice. I'd love to have more money, of course. Yeah. So, I'm gonna do it anyway. And, like, if it works out, cool. If not, I'm just gonna focus on global comics. So... I'm not uber worried about it, but we'll see. I think some people are like grumping about it for no particular reason. They're like, oh well, like, you know, they're just trying to steal your ideas, or so and so said that it's not worth it because the amount of money is too low. There is one thing though that does worry me, is it says like you get, like, once you're published you get no additional compensation. And so I'm like, does that mean that once you're on Manga Plus you don't get paid monthly to be on Manga Plus? Like, do you not get paid per episode once you're on Manga Plus? Like, that's my one concern. And, you know, that's not something that's worth worrying about right now. Oh, you SOB. I think that's the first time that's happened in a while. It's like the first time that that's happened, so. Hey, that means I'm a cool kid now. I get bots now. That's how cool I am. I'm cool enough to get bots. Senpai noticed me because a bot came in my chat. And like, that's gonna happen. It's just part of the streaming. It's gonna happen. It happened on Twitch too when I was streaming on Twitch like forever days ago. It happens. Just don't worry about it and just do your thing. Man, I had this guy that I don't know if it was a guy. I had this person that came into my streams when I was on Twitch. I guess they were one of like my first subscribers. I think, well, I don't know if they were a subscriber or not. I think they were. And I'm trying to remember what set them off a particular day, but they said something, and I don't remember what it was. And I said, hey, that's not cool, could you not do that? And it was really offensive. It was like stuff that could like get me in trouble. You know, it was that kind of level of stuff. And they got so angry that they kept coming into my chat with like ArtCrumbs is fat, and you know, like ArtCrumbs is ugly. Like they kept coming into my chat room with like really they had multiple accounts. I kept having to ban this person because they would make a new account like just to come into my streams. Yeah, it was so bizarre. And I'm like, dude, like you're giving me engagement. He's like, how could you do this to someone who supported you this long? I'm like, dude, if you're gonna say like really nasty things, like I'm not gonna allow. Oh yeah, I kicked him out for like 5 minutes or something. I think I did like a timeout session for him first, because I'm like, okay, maybe the dude's just had a bad day, and like they just need a timeout. No big deal. You know, like I wasn't too worried about it. It was when they came back and they started getting like really aggressive, and I'm like, are you okay? Like, my dude. Like, who hurt you today? You did! And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, it was just really shocking. And I was like, wow. Like, you must be really fun at parties. Except that's a multiply. Oh, come on now. Oh, it's because I had the wrong tool selected, that's why. Yeah, some people just get mad and they just take it out on everybody. And I'm like, no fam, not here you won't. We don't tolerate that here. We're civilized beings in this society. Most of us. Oh yeah, people are gonna do that. And that's kind of like one of the things I've learned is, you know, people are gonna people. That's like the biggest thing that I've learned to like. I'm gonna take a quick break. I'm gonna stretch my hand out really quick. Cause I'm got about 30 minutes left. Stretch. Oh my goodness. Whew. I like this one. It's like one of my favorite songs that he does. Let's see. Is it expensive? Because for me, it depends on your device. For me, it's $72 a year, which I could see for some people could be expensive. But it's for a whole year. I think it's like $6 or $7 a month. Pretty sure that's $6 a month. For some people, that could be a lot of money. I suppose. Let's see. Oh, passport? Yeah, I'm still waiting on mine to come back. They told me it could be a 6-month wait, and I'm like, that's ridiculous. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a big difference. Yeah, I can see that. That'd be rough. I know I said I was going to take a break, but I'm so close to getting this panel done so I could work on the next page. This line is too thick. That's wild, like how like exchange rates can be that extreme. Oh, this is too thick. It should be 30. Every day. Every day. Unless something happens or I have something work related, like a convention, then I won't stream that day. Well, it depends on when the convention's over, because sometimes I have to stream on, or not stream, sometimes I have to, like, help with Global Comics stuff on weekends, for, like, conventions and stuff. So if there isn't a convention, I don't see, like, why I wouldn't stream. I don't like this, and that switch is. Should be 30. I'm gonna aim for every day. So I was such a coward and didn't stream before. So. And on it, well, part of it was just being legitimately busy because I had the Amputation Capital stuff for T-Pub I was working on, and I was just so wiped out. At the end of the day, I was like, "There's no way I can also do like a stream on top of this stuff," so I didn't. So I didn't. And then. Let's see. I think New York conventions is the only options for me. Are you from New York? Because I don't think you have you ever been to New York Comic Con? Because it's not like going to New York conventions. It's really, really hard to get into New York. And they're so expensive, and New York City itself is so expensive. Like when I went there, like just my room and my ticket cost like $2,000. And that was many years ago when it was a lot cheaper. And like that didn't count any food I had while I was there. That didn't count like the shipping I had to do to ship my stuff to the convention because I couldn't bring it all with me on the plane. Like, oh, okay, cool. Okay, yep, that's a good one. Okay, cool. That's good. That's good you've got family there. That'll help a lot. Have you ever tabled at a convention before? I'm not sure what your experience level with conventions is. I'm gonna fill it in and see how it looks. It's only for what my lasso was. Okay, yeah. So for the first, do not start with New York Comic Con as your first table. Like New York Comic Con specifically. I would not recommend New York Comic Con being your first convention. Definitely start with something smaller. Um, and the reason is because you're always gonna, yeah. Because and the reason is your first few conventions, it's not abnormal to be in the red. And that's just because like you have to figure out how your booth is set up. You have to figure out like how like what stuff you even want to bring, and every convention is a little different as far as like what people actually like want to purchase, what they're there for, that sort of thing. Every convention's a little different. That's why there is a difference between anime cons and like comic cons. Like usually, like granted, comic cons are usually okay with like having anime and manga stuff, but it's not been the focus. Like lately, it has kind of changed a little bit, audience wise. But for the most part, most conventions are, and like this is gonna make me sound a little bit bitter. Most conventions these days are celebrity cons, especially the big ones like San Diego, Anime Expo, New York Comic Con. Like the really big ones, like C2E2 isn't as bad. Emerald City, like a lot of the larger cons are like they're becoming celebrity cons now, and the Artist Alley is getting more and more pushed away into a corner and separated. In fact, if I remember correctly, in Anime Expo, they're two completely different buildings. It's not that it's commercialized; it's that it's focusing on like what will bring in the most money for the convention, for the venue itself. And when in a business sense, when anyone has to take extra steps to go get something, which might mean going to a different building for the Artist Alley or having to cross this really long bridge or whatever, like that could have an impact on your sales, because people may look at it and go, oh man, my feet are tired, I'm out of money, like I don't want to walk that far. You know, or I can't find it. It's like there was I forget which convention it was. People literally could not find the Artist Alley. And then when you did find it, and this was at Anime Expo, when I did finally find the Artist Alley at Anime Expo, it was like this small room, not really decorated. It was like a warehouse. And people had these like little tiny dinky like 6-foot tables. And that was it. Like there wasn't a lot of, I don't want to say decoration, but it looked very, very different than like the dealer's room. Yeah, it felt like, it feels like being in, that's a good way to put it. It kind of feels like we're an afterthought when you're tabling at a con. I've tabled a few times myself. I think like the biggest one I tabled at was Denver Comic Con. And that's not like huge by any means. But as far as like tabling on my own, that was probably the biggest one I ever did. At New York, I was tabling, but I was at a booth in the dealer's room, because I was at the table for my college. I was there to represent the illustration department. And then at San Diego, when I was at San Diego, I was in the dealer's room. And so, it's like, the goal is it's always more preferential to get into the dealer's room where the booths are, but those cost a shitload more. Like, sometimes, like, depending on the con, like, a basic booth can cost you, like, $1,000. And that's for, like, a 10 foot by 10 foot space. Yeah, they're a lot of money. And so, that's why I always suggest, like, at least do 2 or 3 smaller cons, and that's because you want to have the time to figure out, okay, how do I bring money? Like, you're gonna have to bring cash with you. How do you want to do that cash up? How do you want to handle your box? How do you want to handle, like, your display? Because you have to know, like, how does it look for you? How does it look for your customers? You have to also work on your pitch, work on how to grab people's attention without seeming like really desperate or overbearing. Like, you would be so surprised how many people are, like, they'll sit there at tables and, like, someone will come up to them and be like, hey, like, how are you doing? Oh, it's not very good, I'm not selling very much. And I'd look at them and I'd go, what the frick? Why would you tell a customer that you've not sold very much and it's not a good con? Like, that's really gonna make them want to buy stuff. You know what I mean? Like working on, I like to call it bedside manner, even though it's not bedside, it's like booth side manner, I guess. tableside manner. Like there's all kinds of like little things that you wouldn't think. Plus, like how to get the stuff there when you suddenly have to travel to take all your stuff to a con. Like how do you get there by car? Because you may have like a couple suitcases worth. You may like how do I figure out how I want to carry everything? How do I figure out what I want to take with me? How does application process work? How do the taxes work for these conventions, especially if you have to travel out of state or to another country? You technically might be required to pay taxes there. So for example, like I live in Tennessee now. If I traveled to New York to go sell at a con, I would owe New York taxes. So I'd have to get my forms, make sure I'm all legal and all that stuff, blah, 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 blah. Like, there are little things you have to worry about, and then there are, like, big business things you have to worry about. And that's if you even get in, and that's if you even get in at all. No, that's not a what the frick. That's basic business. That's basic business. I mean, think about it. You're going into another state and you're making money. Like, you're making money there. You have to pay taxes there. It makes perfect sense. And with some states, the bar is as low as $400. If you make more than $400 there, boom, you're required to pay taxes. And guess what? If you're self-employed, you know, you're paying all of it. You may have additional city taxes, you may have state taxes, you may have national taxes, there might be special business taxes, you have Social Security, Medicare, all that stuff you gotta pay. And you pay for that all by yourself when you're self-employed. It's a little complicated. That's sarcasm. Yeah. That's why I tell people, do a few small ones first. Don't go to a super big con for your very first table. Go to a few smaller ones. The one you might make less money, but the tables are going to cost a lot less. And two, you can have a couple trials to kind of figure out, hey, is this something that I really want to do? Do I love being at a booth and standing all day? Do I like sitting? Like, do I actually like having to be a salesman? Because you're a salesman. You're not just going to have people lining up at your booth to buy your stuff. You're going to have to sell your own stuff. You have to learn how to speak to people to make them want to buy your stuff. Or to like, yeah, there's a whole thing there. So I'm not trying to scare you out of it. I'm just letting you know that it's a business, nothing personal. Nah, I don't like that. I'll just leave it blank. Yeah, it's called having a business. Being a business owner. When you do conventions, you're a small business owner. So you have to worry about, I don't want to say worry because worrying sounds bad, but you have to think about all those things. And it can be like super overwhelming at first, I'm not gonna lie. Like it can be like super overwhelming at first, and it can be really scary, especially if like you're not already doing like business things. If like you're completely new to being self-employed, it's just like extra scary, I think. Well, and that's the cool thing is, like, with you have, like, you're able to work on it, like, at a booth, too. So that's the really cool part about the sort of stuff that you're making, is you're able to actually work on it at a booth. And, like, because working, I guess maybe I shouldn't say that. Like, working on stuff while you're at a convention is, like, it's like a two-sided sword, or double-sided blade, because on one hand, you get to actually be working on something, and that usually brings people's attention. But the downside is it tends to keep your head down. So the way I like to do it is I take an extra monitor with me if I can, because usually I'll have like a battery pack I'll take with me, and then my laptop, and then I'll have like a screen facing outwards so that people can like look and see what I'm working on, and then I'll be working on my stuff with the battery pack. However long it lasts is however long it lasts. Usually I can get a couple hours out of it, and then I'll just do whatever the rest of the day. And with the screen facing the crowd, people are actually able to see what I'm working on, and people love that. People will literally stop and watch, and then usually they'll go, hey, like, what is this? Or is this your manga? Or, like, is this something you're working on? And I'm like, actually, yeah, let me actually show you. It worked really well. I was able to test it out when I was a resident with Wacom and stuff, and, like, people loved that. Like, people loved that. So whenever I have, like, my booth again, I definitely want to do that. Yeah, exactly. He's kind of where I got the idea from. And I have a video of him actually, like, because I bought one of his books, and I have a video of him drawing the illustration that he did in my book. So I think he's also the reason why I started streaming again. Because I'd love to have like that level of influence in the sense that I can help that many people. Yeah. And so I'd love to be able to be like that helpful to people. And I'm not gonna do that if I just sit here and like never stream and never do anything. You know what I mean? Yeah. It was kind of effortless to him. I mean, he still had to think, and I remember watching like videos of him talking about his process, like in his mind and how he handles it, and it was really cool. I think we're good, guys. I think we've got the first page. Here we go. First page, guys. Ta-da! Oh, I didn't do any sound effects on the right. Oh, no. It's okay. It's okay. I can make this really easy. Watch. I'm gonna make this really easy on myself. Oh no, it's the small one? Oh, it's the small one. Dang, it's not gonna work. Okay, well, I can still make it work. Watch this. I'll make it work. I'll just have to be a little creative. I don't want to, because I really liked this one. I don't want to redraw it. Why redraw something if you don't have to, you know? And this will only give me like a quick base, so it's not going to be like a perfect one, but it'll just kind of help it go quicker. I really liked this one. So oh, you know what? Wait, this is English. really... Do I need a sound effect on this? I don't think I do, honestly. I don't think I do. I think it's fine as it is. Yeah, I thought about adding whom. What, Miso? Tell me about it. No, you cannot lay on my keyboard. My keyboard is on my keyboard shelf. You silly. She thinks she can lay on my keyboard shelf. Yeah. Just the sweetest girl ever. No, you cannot lay on my keyboard shelf. Silly Miso. Alright, guys. Miso, please stop. I love you, but please stop. Alright, let me think here. It says I have a message on Discord. What is it? I've gotten a ping. Let me just make sure it's not work related. Oh, it's not important. Okay, it's not important. Okie dokie. Alright, well, either way, guys, it is, it's 2 hour. We're at the 2 hour mark. That means it's time for the stream to come to an end. I'm only doing 2 hours now, or at a maximum of 2 hours. Because according to the poll that I said, people preferred if stuff wasn't longer than 2 hours, which I completely understand. What I will do is later on you will be able to see a time-lapse of this. I'm actually going to be taking all of these videos and I'll be adding them, or I'll be speeding them up, and posting them again as shorts. So if you're watching this later on, if you missed this, be sure to check my profile for those shorts. I will be editing those shorts probably like literally right after this, because I've got a couple of them I gotta edit. So I'll be getting those done. If you guys are watching, make sure to leave a like, maybe subscribe if you want to watch them more. I'll be doing my streams daily, as best as I possibly can at 8 o'clock p.m. Central Time, usually about an hour to 2 in length. Just working on manga pages is what I do. So I'll be seeing you. Oh, I just realized you guys can't even see the whole thing. So I'm not a very good YouTuber yet. If you've noticed. So I'll be working on that. So thank you guys so much for coming. I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys all next time. Until then, have a wonderful night. Ciao.